welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and I am so excited that you decided to take time out of your day to spend with me, because today we will be wrapping up the month of April. Now look, April was not a good reading month for me. April might have been one of the worst, if not the worst, reading month that I have ever had since I've been tracking. Friends, let's just talk about it. Let's just go ahead and jump in. But first, I say that too quick. You know, we gotta start with the story graph statistics, okay? So I finished 8 books in the month of April with a total of 3,724 pages, and my average rating was an abysmal 3.19. Now you see what I'm talking about? Yeah, we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it because this was the month of duds, okay? Duds and mids, okay? And look, I'm over it. So I gotta talk about it so we can move on from April, okay? So surprisingly, I only DNF'd 1 book this month, and from the looks of that average rating for the month, I probably should have DNF'd more. Just saying. But that DNF was Blood at the Root by Ladarrion. This is a YA fantasy with witches and magic and a magical HBCU setting. It was a really cool setup. I think that some YA is just not working for me anymore, and I think that is partly because I can feel myself aging out of YA, which is no problem because your girl almost 30, you know? I'm almost 30, so I'm not even the target audience for YA anymore. So it's perfectly fine that I feel like I'm aging out of it. I still wanted to give this a shot because I thought that it was really cool and something different and something that just needed exposure and needed people to pick it up and talk about it. And I think some really important things are discussed in this from when I read about 130 pages, and I really loved, you know, the conversations that we're having about history. And also I thought some of the pop culture references were cute, but some of them I was also like, and that's how I know, like, you too low. You too low. But yeah, I do encourage you to try this. I just did not want to finish it and give it a low rating. I did not want to do that to this book because, like I said, I think it's very important. Now let us get into the books that I finished. As always, we're gonna go from my lowest rated to the highest to end off on a good note. And so let us start off with Love in Bloom by Lucy Eden. This is a contemporary small town farm romance. It's not a cowboy romance, it's a farm romance, more so small town focused anyway. And I rated this 2 stars. And I think my main problem with this is just that it was a lot of cringe happening. There's a lot of cringe happening, a lot of staccato transitions, in that it didn't feel like we were flowing throughout the book. It almost felt like a play, because you know how plays will end in one place and then pick up in an entirely different place with no kind of bridge to get us there. That's what this felt like. Our love interest, I want to say it's Dan, but I don't know. I could be wrong about that, and I'm not about to look it up. I guess you could call him a cinnamon roll type, but what I did not enjoy about him was that it felt like every other page he was giving a big declaration of love. And I'm like, okay, but like, if you're doing it every day, like, it just kind of, it took away of I can't even get the words out. Goodness, it took away the impact of that moment, because usually that's like at the end of the romance and it's all come together and it's this big sweeping romantic situation. But like, sir, stand up. And then also just some of the things that were discussed in this book, I don't know how I feel about them. I don't have a stance on them. It's a very nuanced situation, and I recognize that. And yeah, I feel like this needed some more editing. Definitely some more editing. Our main character, what is her name? Is it Emma? I think it's Emma. She was she wasn't fun to read about a lot of the time because she was a person who felt like she knew everything, who was not going to ask for help even in situations where she knows she's over her head. I didn't enjoy it. I wanted to. And I mean, I would suggest that if it sounds interesting to you, then you should try it. But didn't work for me. Moving on. The next book is going to be The Wild Huntress by Emily Lloyd-Jones. This is a YA fantasy. It follows three main characters, Bronwyn, Gwendion, and Pridery, and they are kind of unlikely allies in this wild hunt that is hosted by the kings in the area. And if you win the wild hunt, you are able to receive a wish. So they all three go into this competition, and there are in this world there are what they call monsters, and that's just anybody with magic, really. Our main character Bronwyn is not technically magical, but kind of magical. She's like in between, and she has a really special power that allows her to hunt these monsters and to not be tricked by them. And so that is very useful for her and how she ends up in these games. Anyway, I just feel like we spent way too long learning about the world, learning about Bronwyn, learning about everybody's life stories, and by the time we got to the actual hunt, I didn't care anymore. I did not care anymore. I did not like how it felt like there was nothing romantic about anything going on in this book. You would think that everybody in here was just good friends, and then like random air quote romantic things started happening, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And then it would just go back to like nothing happened, and then later on something else random would happen, and I'm just like, we didn't even need that. This book did not need any kind of romantic situation to happen at all. Like, the story was a story and it didn't need it. But yeah, there are some really important conversations in here that I enjoyed, but it overall just felt a little boring, just felt a little dull, and that is why I rated this a 2.5 star. I am trying to decide if I'm going to unhaul this book or not, because I did tab a lot. Like I said, there was a lot that this book had to say that I really liked, but I don't think I'm ever going to look at this book again or pick it up or try to read it. But part of me just wants to keep it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it. I might not unhaul it right away, but I feel like it's gonna be unhauled eventually. So I'm like, why even drag it out? But you know, we'll see. We'll see. My next 2.5 star was surprising to me. I thought that I was going to like this book more than I did. I don't know how much more, but yeah. So that is Harrow the Ninth by Tamsyn Muir. This is the second book in the Locked Tomb series that starts with Gideon the Ninth. So in this, we are following Harrow. She is working with, I don't even know how to explain this. That should tell you all you need to know. So Harrow has been drafted by her emperor to fight an unwinnable war. Side by side with a detested rival, Harrow must perfect her skills and become an angel of undeath. But her health is failing, her sword makes her nauseous, and even her mind is threatening to betray her. Sealed in the gothic gloom of the Emperor's Mithraeum with three unfriendly teachers, hunted by the mad ghost of a murdered planet, Harrow must confront two unwelcome questions. Is somebody trying to kill her? And if they succeeded, would the universe be better off? So I knew going into this just from reading Gideon the Ninth, that I didn't like Harrow as much as I liked Gideon. So you know, I was a little skeptical anyway. But y'all, when I tell you I was 75% into this book before it started to make sense to me. And I like to think that I'm a pretty smart person, okay? You know, I back myself in that way. But I could not figure out what was going on for the life of me. And part of that is on purpose because some things are happening to Harrow and we are in Harrow's head as these things are happening to her. So it makes sense why a little bit of it would be confusing. But girl, also, this was just, I didn't care. But when I tell you the first 75% of this book and the last 25% felt like two totally different books, because once I hit that 75% mark, I was in it. I was invested. I was here. It finally explained what was going on. And, you know, some plot twists happened, some reveals happened, and I was very much excited that, you know, I was here, because I can't tell you what I was about to say that was going to spoil the entire thing. But I was here. I was here, and I was pissed off that it took that long. Because if that hadn't changed for me, this would have been a 1 star. 1 star. But because that last quarter hit so hard, I ended up rating this a 2.5 star. And I had bought all 3 books in the series before reading the first one. It was one of those things, but I had spoiled myself for something that is at the very, very back of this book. It's not even a part of the book per se. It's just like on the last page. I saw that last page, and once I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, we gotta read them. We have to get there. So I was going to trudge through this book regardless in hopes that the 3rd book would be something that I enjoyed again because of the circumstances. So yeah, this was an experience to say the least. Moving on to this next book that I felt like was so hyped. And so I just had to ride the hype train, and I wasn't impressed. That is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. And I have read 2 other B.K. Borison books before. I read Love Light Farms, and I think the second book is In the Weeds. Love Light Farms was a 4.5 star for me. I ate that up. I don't even like Friends to Lovers most of the time, but I ate that one up. And then we read In the Weeds, and that was a very low 3 star for me. And so I stopped. Like, yeah. And so with this one, I was like, okay, maybe I will, you know, see where I stand for B.K. Borison. And while I was reading this book, I know that characters are going to be flawed because humans are flawed, and it is mirroring the human experience. But Aiden and Lucy, both of them were annoying to me in different ways, and I did not really care for being in either of their perspectives. I like Lucy just acting like she has no clue what is going on at all when it comes to dating, to the point where she doesn't even know what type of partner she wants. Like, that's bare minimum. You should at least know what type of person you want to be your person. And even if you don't, like, basic things should just pop into your head when somebody asks you that question. Or if someone asks you what kind of date would you like to go on, and you have zip idea, what do you like to do? Do you not have hobbies? Do you not have things that you like to do? Like, and then Aiden using his mom's sickness as a way to like push everybody out and like be this grumpy man, like, go get some therapy, baby. I don't know. I just I wasn't a fan. But what I was a fan of was that scene when Aiden did that romantic gesture for Lucy, and then Now that I was a fan of, you know, BK did her big one for that, and it saved a lot of the book for me. I probably will continue on in this series because I think that she said the second book will be about, is his name Jonathan? Whoever Aiden's friend is, and I liked him. He was a little weird, but I like that, and so I'm interested to see what she will do with him. But if this one doesn't work out for me, I don't know about me and BK. I don't know, because you know, I just don't know. I want to like her, and I want to like her books and her writing and all that, but it's just giving mid. It's giving mid, and there are so many books out here. Why would I settle for mid when I can have great? You know what I'm saying? This next book, this next book does not have a great reputation, just from what I have heard and the people I follow in the book community. And that is a novel love story by Ashley Poston. And this is about our main character, Elsie, who goes on this trip. Her car breaks down, and then she realizes that she is in the town that her favorite book series takes place in, and she gets to meet all her favorite characters. But there's this one guy that is there who is not a character in the book, and she is trying to figure out who he is and also how she got there, what their purpose is in this town. And the premise sounds great, right? Like, it sounds so cute, cool, all the words. And I was excited to read it off that, but when this book first came out, people weren't really loving it. And so I had to wait a while. I had to wait a while until other people's thoughts about this book were out of my head, and I can go in it with a clean slate and give it a chance, because you never know. I ended up rating this a 3.5 star, but I don't know that it's gonna stay a 3.5 star, because the more that I think about it, the more the ending pisses me off. The ending pissed me off. Like, I was chilling, cruising through this book as I was reading it. Like, no, it wasn't anything that was just spectacular to me, but it had, like, it captured the feelings of what it feels like to be a reader, to fall in love with a book, to fall in love with a story and a world, and how books can really impact your life, and things that you don't get unless you are a reader. Like, there's so many quotable quotes. This was just like, it was like a comfort read. It was an easy read. There wasn't a whole lot going on, but it was cool. I was vibing with it. And as I was reading it, I got about 200 pages in, and I said this in the vlog that I put it in. This will be in the Blue Books vlog. I don't know if it's out before this one or not. I don't know. But I said that I felt like I was being set up to be disappointed. And that's exactly what happened. I was so pissed off by this ending, and I did not like it. And I can't even tell you what I didn't like about it, because it's gonna spoil it. But like, that was wrong of her to do Elsie like that, because Anders would have to get up by my face. And that's all I would say. No sir, we're not doing that. That is not romantic. It's not. But anyway, 3.5 stars. It might go down to a 3. It might. I don't really know. My next 3.5 star was so fun. Like, it was so fun. Like, this wasn't a 4 star. Like, if I gave quarter stars, it would be like a 3.75. Anyway, I'm talking about I Accidentally Hooked Up with a Vampire by Jessica Cage. This is the second book in the Accidents Happen series. Let me tell you something about Jessica Cage. She is going to start her book with a banger every time. With a shock factor. I love the way that she opens her books. What I also love about her books is that they're always so fun, and it just feels like you are having a conversation with your friend, and she is telling you about what happened to her on like a wild night out or something. Like, that's the vibes that it gives, and I'm for that. I'm here for that. I love that. So I don't even remember these characters' names, honey. But we followed our main character who loses her job and goes to an event for her friend and meets this man, and they end up hooking up, and then they keep hooking up, and some things happen, and it is revealed that he's actually a vampire. And she also finds out that her friends have magical backgrounds as well and have just been hiding that from her. And then she finds out some things about herself, and it's just a whole big situation, okay? And things just blow the heck up. And yeah, now be warned, because Jessica will also warn you at the beginning of this book that it does feature some blood play in the spicy scenes. And here's your girl thinking that she was gonna be kind of eked out by it. She wasn't. She kind of liked it. Moving on. The spice was spicy. I definitely feel like I enjoyed this more because I'm a vampire girly, and in the first book it was like a demon or something. I don't know about demons, you know what I'm saying? Because your girl also like demons. Because the only time I've like heard demons and dealt with demons is when they talk about demons in church. And look, I don't play with that. You can have that, but a vampire, every day all day. Every day all day. So if you are looking for a fun, spicy read, this is the one for you. You're going to laugh, but it also is like it's a story. Like you could take the spice out of it and it would still be a story, and I liked that about it. So yeah, for sure, pick that one up. Okay. Now my voice going out and I just had a sip of water. That's rude. But moving on to my only 4-star, and that is Throne of Secrets by Kerri Maniscalco. This is the second book in the Princes of Sin series. And in this one, we're following Prince Gluttony and Adriana. Adriana is a gossip journalist in the Gluttony circle or whatever, and she does not like Gluttony, okay? She comes for his throat every opportunity that she gets, and there's a reason for that. And that was one of my issues with this book, that we were well into this book before we actually found out what the reason was. And then it was just like underwhelming reason, you know? So like this is 10 years of beef that turned out to be not only one-sided, but like not even beef. A letdown. This is very much Cinderella coded as well, and I'm usually not a fan of Cinderella retellings, reimagining coded things. That's just not my thing. But I did not mind the subtle nods to this, but you are able to pick up on it. Like I didn't know that going in, and I should have, because on one of the pages in the book I think it actually mentioned her. I didn't see it. I was just reading, but yeah, I picked up on it very quickly. I really love that Kerri Maniscalco is going to give us a strong woman main character who doesn't need a man. She doesn't give us damsels, okay? She is not gonna do that, and I'm here for it. Like I love that. I did not like that. I don't even know if this was slow burn. I don't even get, I can't talk. I don't even know if you can categorize this as slow burn, because we were 80%, maybe even further into this book, and they were still going back and forth with each other, going back and forth in the sense of like doing things to like make the other person's life harder, or to prove that they have more power than the other person, or they can make the other person like, you know, have feelings for the other person or whatever. Like they were still playing games basically at 80%, and I'm like, so that means we have to watch them get together only to then immediately break up, and the breakup lasted longer than them actually getting together, and then to get back together at the end. That was too much to do on 20%. Too much to do for 20%. And you know, the bachelor type game situation that went on in this, I couldn't even really enjoy it, because you're told that from jump that Gluttony has no interest in actually pursuing a relationship or even marrying any of these women. So why are you leading them on? Why are you doing that? That you don't play with people's feelings. So that kind of put a damper on it for me anyway. But I ended up rating this 4 stars. I still had a good time with this, okay? And I did like Adriana and Gluttony's banter. Like that's also something that Kerri Maniscalco is gonna give us. She's gonna give us good banter and some good spice too. So this was fun. I still like Throne of the Fallen better, but I didn't hate this. Honestly, I feel like it might be more of a 3.5. I don't know. I just feel like my ratings for this one are like not great, but like also not definitive either. So yeah, most books aren't going up if I change their rating. But I also just cannot stomach having an average rating lower than a 3, and I'm already at a 3.1 now. So we're just gonna leave well enough alone, and yeah. Okay, friends, it's time to talk about the shining star of the month. Was it out of the camera? The book that saved April for me. The only book to get a 4.5 star. The only one that I will like go up for, and it wasn't even a happy book at that. It was a heartbreaking book. So I was having heartbreaking ratings and heartbreaking books. Anyway, I'm talking about The Final Strife by Saara El-Arifi, the first book in the Ending Fire series. Now, my girl Saara ain't gonna steer me wrong. And I wanted to definitely check out this series because I want to read everything she writes, especially with how much I love Faybound and Cursebound. But I wanted to see if it was just that series or if Saara is my girl. And it turns out Saara is my girl. Okay, this is the lowest rated book that I've read by her out of the 3, and it's a 4.5. And that's only mainly because the length of this. This was a long book, and it was a long, traumatic, sad book. Y'all know I don't like sad books. I don't like emotional books. I don't, but I had to give this one a try. And the way that this is trauma, the way that you need to make sure your mental health is at minimum okay before you try to pick this up. Because look, it's gonna take you through it. It's gonna take you through it, okay? So in this world, there are 3 blood types. You have the red blood, which are the people in power, and they can do blood working, magical things. You have the blue bloods, those are the workers, the ones that make everything run, okay? And then we also have the clear bloods who at one point did something to cause the red bloods to hate them. So now they cut their tongues out and cut their hands off, and they are servants. And yeah. So the rebellion took some red-blooded children and swapped them with some blue-blooded children. And that was because they wanted to raise the red-blooded children as blue bloods so that when they went back and got into power, they would know what it's like to be a blue blood and, try to make things right for everybody. Like they wouldn't be so far removed from the bad that's happening. They would have lived it so they can make change. Okay, that was the point anyway. But there was an accident and everybody is gone from the rebellion but Sila, my girl Sila, okay? And she has turned to drugs and alcohol and fighting and whatever she can to escape her life. Like, my girl is going through it, okay? You watch Sila try to detox and go through withdrawals and try to get off of this drug, and that alone is hard to watch, but just seeing the injustices that are happening to the blue, the clear, and even some of the red bloods, and how it can be a mirror to what is going on in the world today. And look, this is sad. It's so good, but it's so sad. And I think that is part of why it's only a 4.5 for me. I describe this book as like wading through mud, because it was hard to get through, but not because it wasn't written well. Like every one of these pages is important, and I don't feel like Saara, I feel like she did it, okay? Like she could have done no more. Like she did it with this, but like emotionally it's a lot, and you know, physically it's a lot. This is a heavy ass, long ass book, but this story is so good. It's so good, and I'm gonna need to take a break before I continue, but I'm ready to see what is going to happen. So pick this up if you can. If you can. But be warned, be prepared, and take care of yourself, okay? And alrighty, friends, that is it. Those are all of the books that I read and attempted to read in the month of April. Y'all send your thoughts, prayers, vibe, love, all the good things towards me so that May can be a better reading month for me. And it's weird because I have been seeing some other people's April wrap-ups, and we were all going through it in April. I don't know what April had going on, but it wasn't good. So here's to hoping that May will bring all good things, all great reading for all of us. So thank you for staying to the end of this video. Thank you for watching, commenting, subscribing, anything that you do to support me and my channel. It is very much appreciated. I hope you have the best day that you possibly can. Remember to take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.